There comes a point in your life where you have to stop running after people who were never moving toward you in the first place. You spend so much time begging for attention, waiting for replies, trying to prove your worth to people who don't even know how to treat your presence like a blessing. But today is the day you choose something different. Today is the day you choose you. Because the truth is, you lose yourself every time you chase someone who doesn't know your value. You shrink your light to fit places that were never meant for your spirit. You break your own heart trying to hold on to people who only show up when it benefits them. And somehow you start believing that this is what you deserve. But deep down, you know better. Deep down, you know your soul wasn't built to beg. When you start choosing yourself, everything begins to shift. Your confidence changes. Your walk changes. Your energy gets louder even when your mouth stays quiet. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You stop overthinking why someone left and start focusing on who you're becoming. And instead of running after people, you start running after your purpose. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It's survival. It's the moment you realize that your peace is more important than someone's mixed signals. Your growth is bigger than someone's inconsistency. Your future holds more value than someone who can't even match your loyalty. When you choose yourself, you unlock a level of power that no one can take from you. You start pouring into your goals. You start protecting your heart. You start healing the places that you used to hide. And slowly, people feel that shift. They notice the glow. They notice the discipline. They notice the silence. Because nothing speaks louder than a person who stopped begging and started building. When you elevate, you stop chasing people because you understand something that most never learn. The right people don't need to be chased. They show up, they stay consistent, they match your energy. They respect your time, they value your presence because they see the greatness in you without you having to convince them. But that only happens when you choose you first. When you raise your standards. When you refuse to settle for halfway love or temporary attention. When you stop letting loneliness push you into places where your spirit feels small. So let this be a turning point. Stop running after people who don't appreciate your effort. Stop breaking yourself to keep connections alive. Stop treating yourself like an option just to feel wanted for a moment. You were not born to chase. You were born to create, to elevate, to evolve. Put that energy back into yourself. Build your mind. Build your vision. And watch how everything you once ran after starts aligning with you naturally. Because when you choose yourself, you don't lose people. You lose the ones who are blocking your blessings. Stand up, breathe deep, remind yourself who you are, then move forward with the power of someone who finally understands their worth. Your next level begins the moment you stop chasing and start choosing you. People spend years of their lives tying their worth to people who don't even deserve access to their energy. You bend, you stretch, you sacrifice, all because you believe that if you give enough, prove enough, or love enough, someone will finally stay, finally choose you, finally see what you bring to the table. But the harsh truth is this: anyone who cannot see your value now will not see it later, no matter how much of yourself you pour into them. The problem isn't your effort. The problem is where you're placing it. You keep trying to convince people who were never meant to understand the weight of your heart. There is a kind of emotional hunger that develops when you chase the wrong people. Every unanswered message becomes a question mark. Every inconsistency becomes a puzzle you try to fix. Every cold response feels like a judgment of your worth. And slowly, without even noticing it, your self-esteem starts being controlled by someone else's behavior. You start thinking, maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I need to try harder. Maybe if I change this or shrink that, things will be different. But that's the trap. That's how you lose yourself piece by piece, day by day. You were never meant to live a life where your identity depends on someone's attention. You were never created to be an option waiting to be chosen. You were born with value. You were born with purpose. You were born with gifts that don't need approval to exist. But as long as you're chasing people, you'll never see the worth that's already inside you. You'll never understand the power that comes from knowing who you are without needing someone to validate it. When you stop tying your worth to people, you begin to see yourself clearly. You realize that not everyone deserves the level of access you've been given. You start understanding that love is not proven by chasing, it's proven by reciprocity, consistency, and respect. True connection doesn't require you to sacrifice your dignity. True love does not demand that you beg. True relationships don't require your pain to stay alive. There is a freedom that comes when you finally say, I am done proving myself to people who don't even know how to appreciate what I bring. It's a moment when your soul exhales, when the weight you've been dragging finally lifts, when the noise in your mind gets quiet because you're no longer waiting for someone else to tell you that you matter. Choosing yourself doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you stop caring more about them than you care about yourself. It means you stop making people a priority when they barely treat you as a choice. It means you stop rewriting red flags into misunderstandings. You stop making excuses for behavior that hurts you. You stop confusing temporary attention with real affection. When you stop tying your worth to people who don't value your presence, you become stronger, sharper, more focused. You start seeing your energy as currency. You start protecting your peace like it's sacred. You start recognizing that your time, your heart, your loyalty, they're priceless. And not everyone has earned the right to experience them. Your worth isn't something someone else gives you. It's something you own. And when you finally understand that, the world begins to change. The things you used to tolerate start feeling heavy. The people you used to chase start losing their power. The attention you once begged for becomes irrelevant, because once you see your own value, you don't need someone else to confirm it. Reclaiming your energy is one of the most powerful decisions you will ever make, because everything in your life is connected to where your energy goes. Your peace, your growth, your confidence, your purpose, they all depend on what and who you give yourself to. But when you spend your days pouring into people who drain you, into situations that don't grow you, into relationships that don't align with you, you end up running on empty. You end up feeling tired in a way sleep can't fix. You end up feeling lost in a way a vacation or a distraction can't repair. Because your spirit knows when you're giving yourself away to the wrong places. There comes a moment where you have to look at your life and say, my energy is not free. My attention is not cheap. My heart is not something you play with when you're bored. You have to recognize that anyone who comes into your life is stepping into a space you built, a space you maintain, a space you protect. And if they don't respect that, if they misuse that, if they take without giving, then their presence becomes a debt you cannot afford anymore. Investing your energy in your own growth is not selfish, it's essential. You have dreams that need your focus. You have goals that need your discipline. You have a future that requires your full presence, but you can't step into your next level if you're exhausted from giving your best to people who give you the bare minimum. You can't elevate when you're constantly drained by trying to fix connections that were never yours to fix. You can't build a stronger version of yourself while carrying the weight of people who refuse to carry themselves. When you start reclaiming your energy, you begin to understand that not everyone deserves a front row seat to your life. Some people are meant to watch from a distance. Some people aren't meant to come with you to the next chapter. Some people were only meant to teach you a lesson about what you should never settle for again. And once you accept that, your power begins to rise. You start using your energy to build instead of chase. You start investing in habits that make you stronger instead of distractions that keep you stuck. You start focusing on becoming the person you needed when you were struggling. And that shift alone changes everything, because once your focus goes inward, your life starts moving forward. The more you pour into yourself, the less you feel the need to seek validation from others. When you grow mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you stop craving the approval of people who never truly understood you. You stop trying to fit into spaces where your greatness feels too much. You stop shrinking your dreams so someone else won't feel insecure around you. Growth gives you clarity. Growth gives you standards. Growth gives you strength. Reclaiming your energy also means protecting your boundaries. It means saying no without guilt. It means walking away from conversations that steal your peace. It means cutting off access to people who only show up when they need something. It means refusing to let loneliness push you in the hands that are not meant to hold you. Boundaries are not walls or filters. They don't keep love out. They keep chaos out. And when you protect your energy long enough, something beautiful happens. You start attracting people who don't drain you, but pour into you. People who respect your time, your heart, your effort. People who match your loyalty, match your consistency, match your effort. You begin to realize that the right energy attracts the right people. The stronger you become, the more aligned your circle becomes. Reclaim your energy and invest in your own growth, because the world will take everything from you if you let it. But the moment you reclaim your power, your life shifts. You stop being pulled by the opinions of others and start moving with intention. You stop living in reaction to people and start living in alignment with purpose. And once you step into that version of yourself, you become unstoppable. That's the power of reclaiming your energy. It's the moment you stop being drained and start becoming who you were always meant to be. There's a moment in every person's life where they realize that the foundation they build within themselves determines everything: your confidence, your standards, your relationships, your peace. And when that foundation is weak, when it's built on needing approval, needing attention, needing someone to choose you, you become easy to shake, easy to break, easy to manipulate. That's why building a foundation of self-respect is not just important, it's necessary. It's the difference between begging for love and attracting it. It's the difference between hoping someone values you and knowing your value without question. Self-respect is the quiet strength that keeps you from chasing people who treat your heart like an afterthought. It's the mindset that whispers, I deserve more than this, even when your emotions are telling you to hold on. It's the courage to walk away from situations that drain you, even when it hurts. And most importantly, self-respect is what keeps you grounded, centered, and whole no matter who stays or who leaves. When you lack self-respect, you start accepting behaviors that cut your spirit. You tolerate inconsistency because you're afraid of being alone. You ignore red flags because you want the connection to work so badly. You silence your needs because you don't want to seem too much, and without realizing that you begin building a life on top of broken pieces. You start thinking you have to earn love by lowering your standards. But love that requires you to betray yourself is not love, is self-destruction. When you build a foundation of self-respect, everything changes. Your voice becomes stronger. Your decisions become clearer. Your standards become higher. You stop settling for halfway love or temporary affection. You stop romanticizing potential and start paying attention to patterns. You stop giving unlimited access to people who don't even deserve a key, because you finally understand that you are the prize, not the option. And here's the truth no one wants to hear. The moment you raise your standards, you will lose people. Not because you're asking for too much, but because they were given too little. People who benefit from your lack of boundaries will call you difficult the moment you create one. People who love your silence will get uncomfortable when you start speaking up. People who are used to your softness will get confused when you choose strength. But you must remember, anyone who leaves because you chose self-respect was never meant to stay. Self-respect also teaches you one of life's greatest lessons. You don't have to chase what's meant for you. Real love doesn't need convincing. Real people don't make you gamble with your dignity. Real connections don't require you to sacrifice your self-worth. When you respect yourself, you naturally attract people who treat you with the same respect. You draw in relationships that are balanced, intentional, and genuine. Building self-respect means choosing yourself even on the days you feel unworthy. It means honoring your feelings instead of burying them. It means holding yourself accountable while still giving yourself grace. It means growing through the pain instead of running from it. Because every boundary you set, every standard you raise, every time you refuse to accept less than you deserve, you are building a version of yourself that is unbreakable. And the more you respect yourself, the less you fear losing others. Why? Because you realize the real loss is abandoning yourself just to keep someone who was never meant to be your future. You realize the real pain is betraying your own heart just to feel wanted. And you realize the real power lies in choosing yourself even when it feels uncomfortable. So build your foundation. Build it strong. Build it with honesty, confidence, integrity, and courage. Because once your self-respect becomes unshakable, you'll stop begging for love, stop chasing people, and stop seeking worth outside yourself. You will stand taller, move wiser, and live freer. And the world will respond to you differently because you will be different. Unmoved, unbothered, dead, unbreakable.